If they allow the welfare benefits to end on the 1st, we are talking about a nuclear bomb on the economy and in politics. It cannot happen. If it happens, okay, I'm saying this. When they warn, maybe, hey, you may not get your benefits, that's a big difference. Because if, come the 1st, Trump goes, look, we found funds, we pulled it, the government's not opening, but we're fine. Then it's like, yeah, okay, it was a threat. But if actually 42 million people do not get money and they cannot buy food, I don't know how that is going to change the face of this nation. There are two things that drive electoral systems. Usually it's the economy, but only when things are safe. Security is next, but there is another indicator of revolution and civil war, and that is when food is hard to come by. And with the Arab Spring, one of the key indicators of massive revolution across the Arabic world in North Africa, particularly, was that food prices had become too high. It kicked off with, I believe, Mohammed Bouazizi was his name. He was a fruit cart salesman in Tunisia.
That's right.
And the police came and said, you can't sell fruit. And he goes, it's the only thing I can do to make money. They shut him down. So he went in front of City Hall and immolated himself. And then everybody snapped because they were feeling the same pressures and the same heat. What's going to happen to this country when you have terrorism, a weak economy, high prices, and 42 million people who can't afford food?
Well, everything will turn out fine.
Trump can then invoke the Insurrection Act and take over anything he wants.
Well, and you mentioned earlier the rural areas. Rural areas actually have rural households specifically have a far higher participation in SNAP benefits and these sorts of things. So it'll compound. You have two issues now compounding. Is A, you're going to have a migration of people from rural areas into the urban areas looking, because that's where the institutions are going to be that distribute food. And then B, the farms that do exist in the rural areas, their labor force gets cut out from under them because a lot of those people that are on those SNAP benefits are working on the farms and these sorts of things. So then there's going to be a shortage of labor on the farms, and then now the farms are going to have less productivity. So everything is just going to compound. The rural areas are going to completely rot out. The area is going to be pulled, the bottom's going to be pulled out from under. It already has in a lot of ways. And then, they're going to flood into the cities, and then the cities will be out of food because these farms are going to have labor shortages.
The one problem with that, though, is that farms are going to disappear soon because they're all becoming data centers.
That too.
You can have generated food, though.
And then they're going to take all the water so the data centers can gargle them up.
Yes, the people are already complaining about higher water bills and electricity bills because they're funding the data centers in the area.
We got our electric. So at the old studio, our electricity bill's been largely just nothing because we left, and then we got the bill for it. I think it was like a couple months ago. And when I saw the bill, I got really angry because I'm like, whoa, someone's pulling some BS. Right. Somebody plugged in a Bitcoin mining rig at our property.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's the price of electricity is skyrocketing because of the high demand from data centers, but also probably Bitcoin mining as well, just in general.
I put my heat on last week, and then the electric company just sent me a loan application. You're going to need this.
We weren't smart enough to move towards fourth generation nuclear, and we just don't have enough. Don't have enough power.
New York State, they're shutting down nuclear reactors.
There's one thing we haven't talked about too, though, is where we're saying if benefits end in November.
You mean in 4 days?
In 4 days, right? There will be some people who will reprioritize what finances they do have. Food will still be a priority over rent because it takes you longer to get evicted than it does for you to starve. Sure. So if people need to have a fixed amount of money and they got to choose between rent and food, they're still going to choose food rather. Well, we got rent, but we've got nothing to eat. So the landlords and the mortgage industry is going to have some perturbations there.
Or cannibalism.
Oof.
Oh,
dude. In Haiti.
We do have a lot of Haitians.
I'm telling you guys right now. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This is a fact. If social order really did break down, I mean, like the power turned off, no one knew what to do. You'd have 3 days before people in New York were drinking each other's blood. You think I'm exaggerating?
Dude, you have 3 minutes.
On Manhattan, I believe you have about 2 million people. If the water stopped flowing, you'd see a mass outmigration flooding into outer areas as people become desperate, look for food. We are not dealing with a nation of what I think what was it during the American Revolution was 2.5 million. Yeah. Is that how many people it was? Yeah. Let's someone can you search that for me and get the number? I believe that the original 13 colonies had only a few million people. In the event, there was
2.6. Yeah.
2.6. If you had an economic collapse back then, what would you do? You'd wander into the wilderness, find a creek, and drink from it.
That's right.
Sure. You'd build a little mud hut. That's impossible right now. You've got about 8.8 million, I think the number is, in the New York metro. Manhattan Island alone is around 2 million. If the power and the water is gone, food spoils within days. Seriously, bro, my strawberries, I buy them, I come home, I go to the supermarket, I look at the strawberries, they look great. As soon as I get home, I pull it out, all mold. Just instantly, like switch was flicked. Food's gonna spoil, there's gonna be some canned goods. What are people gonna do? Well, how do you deal with 8.8 million people spreading out into the outer areas trying to find food? Plumbing system's not working. Nowhere to put their poop. Nowhere to find food. They're going to be ransacking houses. They're going to be stealing what they can. It is going to get apocalyptic very, very quickly. I don't know what anyone thinks is going to happen when you have 8.8 million people in one hyper-condensed area. Many are going to stay, and they're going to be like, nah, nothing ever bad happens. The government will take care of me. And then what happens when they don't have water for 2 days, and all the water and all the drinks are gone from all the bodegas? Because let's be real, they're not going to get restocked. And I'm talking about the event of total social breakdown. They will start drinking each other's blood.
But the buses will go faster.
Indeed. They'll speed up as they flee the city with one rogue bus driver like, we got to get out of here.
Right, yeah.
Do you think AOC will stay behind to invoke order upon her constituents?
AOC will be in a jet to Mount Weather, where she will be treated like a queen underground for the next 30 years, hiding from the people she betrayed.
She is a bartender, so if we're drinking blood, a Bloody Mary could
Wow.
Just saying.
Wah, wah.
There you go.
So people in New York don't know where water comes from.
No.
We have, this is crazy. Go back several hundred years, and people in New York generally had an idea of where their water was coming from. Now they don't.
They just made huge new pipes for where the water comes from New York City. It goes all the way up to the upstate New York.
There's this video from Vice like 15 years ago where a guy, there's a stream in New York they put a building over. The stream is still there, but it's covered, and there's a wall. And if you jump over the wall, there's a crack between the building and the wall that goes under the building, where there's a natural creek still there. And then he put cameras on. It's a super old video, but he was like, this is where a lot of the water would flow through New York. Now, no one has any idea. They've covered it all up and they're pumping the water in. What happens if the water stops flowing? Chicago is the same way. You drink Lake Michigan water, sure, you're going to get real sick. And people don't even know how to treat water anymore either.
Yeah.
We have developed ourselves out of our ability to survive without these tools that we've made.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you're forced to rely on the material world, whereas we used to have nature.
Yeah.
Nature's dead.
Yeah, I grew up in Memphis, and people there, every city says this, but they're like, we were voted the best tap water in America. And then you go, why is that? And they say, well, it comes from aquifers. And I'm like, yeah, that's where water comes from. Yeah.
Sounds good.
We're just so removed from the processes that, yeah.
So I don't know, when I've talked to people about all these jobs being lost, the response I get is, yeah, but they'll replace it with robots. And I'm like, guys, they're not going to replace your customers with robots. So when we talk about population collapse, what there's going to be a Taco Bell, and so some guy owns a chain of Taco Bell, is a franchisee owner. He goes, we can't afford, we're losing sales, so we're going to save money by replacing all of our staff with robots. He does. Then he goes to the government, I have this automated Taco Bell store, but we're collapsing. We're going to go out of business. The economy is terrible. So the government says, we're going to create a bunch of robots to go and buy products from you. And then it's just a bunch of robots buying Taco Bell, throwing it in the garbage.
Well, here's the optimistic.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Aliens come to Earth. There's no people anywhere. It's just robots buying food and throwing it away. Buying food from each other.
Any complex economic system that you've got established, which we have, can only handle change at a certain rate.
Yeah.
And so the problem we're coming at is these shocks to the economy are exceeding the rate at which the change can be absorbed into the system and adaptations can be made. So we can get to a different state of the economy, but we can't do it in a telescope compact time frame. And that's really what we're up against. That's the difficulty.
Well, and the thing is, our economy has been hit with multiple new inventions over the past several decades that would and should take any society decades to adjust to by themselves. Going from radio to television to the internet. And we're not even talking about, the advancements that have been made in medicine or food production or anything like that. So yeah, we've been taking on a lot of change very, very quickly. There's a very real question of whether society can sustain it. Yeah. If I were to be a very out to lunch optimist, here's what I would say. I go, well, here's the good news. We're talking about the population aging up. Well, guess what? The robots are going to take care of them since there won't be enough young people to do it. We've got the technological infrastructure for that. Here's the problem. Ultimately, that technology is going to be controlled by people. People don't always act in the best interest of other people, especially when they're in a position to really leverage their power to get what they want from them. And even if they do, even if we end up in like a miracle scenario where everything goes perfectly and the people who run these AI companies use the technology for noble reasons to help others, well, when those others end up with abundance and don't have to work, they're all going to end up falling apart.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you get this thing now where like you're talking about what these new technologies hitting the market is every single time, like, the computer, the personal computer. And then everyone's like, great. So that means, labor retracts a little bit. So my wages will go up. Yeah, about that. We just brought in 20 million immigrants like in the last 5 years. You're like, oh, so every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.